Now let's get started. My name is Leah from Painless Math and I will be your tutor. Today, we introduce the concept of index. So, let's quickly talk about what index means. Index, also called index notation or exponential form, is a small number attached on the right shoulder of a certain number, like 3 and 2. In this case, 3 is called the base number, and 2 is called index notation. What it means when a base number has such a small number, or index, on its right shoulder. It means that the base number is going to be multiplied for the number of times indicated by the index. Let me say it again. If a number has this index attached to it, it means that the base number is going to be multiplied for the number of times indicated by the index. Is that clear? So, for example, 3 and 2. This means 3 times 3. It's not 3 times 2. Lots of people get mixed up with 3 times 2, but it's wrong. It is 3 times 3. For example, if you see 5 and 3, it means 5 times 5 times 5, not 5 times 3. So be careful. Okay, next, how should you read the numbers with index attached to them? 6 and 2 is read as 6 squared, or 6 to the power of 2, or 6 to the second power. 6 and 3 is read as 6 cubed, or 6 to the power of 3, or 6 to the third power. Only for the index of 2 and 3 have a little more variety in how they are called, but for other numbers, there are only 2 patterns. 6 and 4 is read as 6 to the power of 4, or 6 to the fourth power. 6 and 5 is read as 6 to the power of 5, or 6 to the fifth power. And the rest is all the same. Now, let's take a look at the exercise. If you think that you can answer these questions yourself, feel free to stop this video and try it yourself first. If you are not so sure, then let's continue to look at this together. Question number 1. 6 squared, or 6 to the power of 2. First, index is a small number on the right shoulder of a base number, and it means that the base number is going to be multiplied for the number of times indicated by the index. Therefore, 6 squared is equal to 6 times 6, which is 36. All good. Question number 2. It is 2 cubed, or 2 to the power of 3. There is an index, which is 3 in this case, on the shoulder of a base number 2. It means that 2 is going to be multiplied for the number of times indicated by the index. That is, 3 times. So, 2 is multiplied for 3 times, meaning 2 times 2 times 2. Which is equal to 8. Again, it is not 2 times 3, so be careful. Okay, next. The following questions on number 3, number 4, and number 5 are easy to get mixed up. So make sure to understand and remember the differences. These questions are often asked in tests. Question number 3. Brackets minus 5 to the second power. This is a pattern that a number is inside brackets, but index is attached outside the brackets. Let me explain the key point of this type of questions. This is important, so please listen carefully. The index indicates how many times the base should be multiplied. And this is a super important point. It means that only the one directly touched by the index is going to be multiplied for the times indicated by the index. This is important, so I'll say it again. The index indicates how many times the base should be multiplied. It means that only the one directly touched by the index is going to be multiplied for the times indicated by the index. In other words, in this question, the one that the index directly touches, i.e., the one that are right in front of the index, is a bracket. And therefore, the brackets are multiplied for 2 times. Be careful here. What the index directly touches is not necessarily a number. So tricky, isn't it? So let's write down brackets times brackets first like this. Then, copying the number as they are in these brackets. Then we get brackets minus 5 times brackets minus 5. If we calculate this, the sign of the answer will be positive, because there are 2 negatives. And the number would be 5 times 5, which equals 25, so that the answer is plus 25. All good. Let's look at the next question, number 4 as well, in comparison. It is minus 5 to the second power. At first glance it looks like the same question as number 3, but the answer would be different. Do you know what the difference is from the previous question? Yes, that's right. There are no brackets. Because index indicates how many times to multiply the base, and it is important to note that only the one directly touched by index is going to be multiplied for the number of times that index indicates. In this question, the index is 2, and it directly attached to the number 5. Some people might think it should be minus 5 instead of 5. Why 5 instead of minus 5? Because only the one being directly touched by the index is going to be multiplied for the number of times that index indicates. The minus sign is not directly touched by the index. So, minus 5 to the second power is minus 5 times 5. Since only 5 is directly touched by the index. And therefore, the answer is minus 25. Did you understand the difference from number 3? Now, let's take a look at the next question, number 5. Let's keep in mind the difference between question number 3 and question number 4 here as well. Question number 5. Bracket minus 5 to the second power and close bracket. This time, like question number 3, there are brackets, but the index is inside the brackets, not outside them. Remember, only the one that is directly touched by the index is going to be multiplied for the number of times that the index indicates. If you remember this, you don't need to be afraid of any of these kinds of questions. So, in the case of this question, it is the 5, and only the 5 that is directly touched by the index. Therefore, bracket minus 5 to the second power and close bracket means bracket minus 5 times 5 and close bracket, which is equal to minus 25. All good. Now let's look at number 6. Bracket minus 3 times bracket minus 2 to the third power. You can solve this question by using the knowledge you have acquired so far. But there is one thing you should pay attention to. That is, if there is an index in the equation, then the one with index needs to be calculated first. We will learn this order of operations in detail in the next video. But just remember that the index needs to be calculated first for now. So, you need to calculate from bracket minus 2 to the third power first. First of all, it's the brackets that are directly touched by the index. It's not the number 2. So, let's write down brackets as many as the number of index indicates first. That's going to look like this. Brackets times brackets times brackets. And just copy the number to these brackets, and we get bracket minus 2 times bracket minus 2 times bracket minus 2. And calculate this. First, the sign of the answer will be negative, because there are 3 negatives, which is an odd number. Next is the numbers. 2 times 2 times 2, which is going to be 8, so that the answer would be minus 8. Now, going back to the original equation, bracket minus 3 times bracket minus 2 to the third power. And now we know that bracket minus 2 to the third power is minus 8. So the final equation is minus 3 times minus 8. The sign of the answer would be a positive, because there are 2 minuses, an even number. And then, the number would be 3 times 8, which equals 24, and therefore the answer would be plus 24. And finally, number 7. Bracket minus 4 to the second power, divided by bracket minus 6 to the second power and close bracket. It looks a little complicated, but if you calculate in order, you would be fine. First, let's take a look at bracket minus 4 to the second power. It's the brackets that are directly touched by the index. It's not the number 4. All good. So, let's write down brackets as many as the number of index indicates first. That's going to look like this. Brackets times brackets. And then, just copy the number to these brackets. And we get bracket minus 4 times bracket minus 4. First, determine the sign of the answer. That will be positive because minus times minus equals plus. Then, the next is the numbers. 4 times 4 equals 16. And therefore, answer would be plus 16. Next, we calculate bracket minus 6 to the second power and close bracket. Which one is directly touched by the index? Yes, that's right. Number 6. Again, it's only 6, not minus 6. So, bracket minus 6 to the second power and close bracket means minus 6 times 6, which equals minus 36. Now, going back to the original equation, bracket minus 4 to the second power, divided by bracket minus 6 to the second power and close bracket. And now we know that bracket minus 4 to the second power is plus 16. And bracket minus 6 to the second power and close bracket is minus 36. So the final equation will be 16 divided by minus 36. To calculate this, the sign of the answer will be minus or negative. Next, looking at the numbers. Since it is 16 divided by 36, they are not fully divisible. Therefore, you should use fractions to answer this question. 16 divided by 36 means 16 is the numerator and 36 is the denominator, which is 16 over 36. And one more step to go. 16 and 36 have a common factor, which is 4. So, let's divide them by 4, which will get us 4/9. And it doesn't look like there are any more common factors here. So together with the sign, the answer will be minus 4/9. So, that's it for today. Again, thank you so much for watching. In the next video, we will talk about order of operations. Please make sure to watch that video too. Also, if you like this video, please don't forget to subscribe my YouTube channel for the easiest math tutorials on planet.